as a
Was having a
salesman
little.
and as someone who represents his company. He was very knowledgeable and very necessary. So he made a lot of money, and but he made several companies pretty big money. He was a rep for Signal Transformers. They were on the stock exchange, and he probably sold about a third of their stuff. But he's up
So
here in
my
Canada, so he was down
That's
in
amazing.
Columbus. So it seemed like a very nice place, Columbus.
I can't remember if it was Cincinnati or Columbus that I was dating this guy. I flew in to see him. I was only there for 2 days. I got picked up by this cab driver at the airport because the guy I was dating did pick me up, and he dropped me off at this hotel. Now, the hotel was in a town where it was like a little Irish town, so like the road was painted green instead of yellow dividers, and I got mugged in the hotel, right in the parking lot. But before that, like just checking in was a disaster. Like that scene in Jurassic Park where they find the Triceratops and it's like this big pile of dung. Whoever cleaned my room left that behind in the bathroom, and so I had to go get some. I was like, I couldn't even believe it. And then I ended up leaving the next day, and the same cab driver picked me up that had brought me there. And he's like, "Oh, how was your trip?" And I was like, "I will be asking the questions, you asshole. It was terrible, and I'm never coming back here." And that was my trip to. And the funny thing too, I flew. So when I left Ohio, they took me to Newark, New Jersey, even though I was going to Oklahoma, and it was snowing real bad. And this little boy sitting next to me in the plane, he goes, "Mom, when are we going to get to heaven?" And I was like so nervous because of the ice. And I was like, hopefully not on this flight. So that
No,
was my whole experience with Ohio.
I'm still trying to figure out why you're going into where you're going one way when you're wanting to go to Oklahoma.
I guess
Yeah,
my travel agent didn't own a map.
I don't. Well, there's hubs in the U.S. that dominate your travel. So if you want to go here, you got to go through Atlanta. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. And no, when I was in Ohio, I was amongst the rich and the well off, and everyone was golfing. There's major golf clubs there.
I
No,
always
but,
say, what's round on the ends and high in the middle? Ohio. It's my only joke I've got about Ohio.
well,
I
no,
kind
I
of
think
grew
it
up around
gets
that, but in San Diego, though,
no.
you know, snooty flahooty golf
I
players, I
don't.
guess.
The I mean, if I was driving down I-75 to Florida, there's a few stop offs in Tennessee, Kentucky, Atlanta. It's like the people there at that 24-hour gas station are a little bit hillbilly, a little bit.
When I moved here, so my dad bought 12 houses on eBay in Alabama. Prior to that, we were in San Diego, California, Phoenix, Nevada, Hawaii, Seattle, Washington, and then we ended up in Alabama, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so when I moved here, this is like 20 years ago, Mark, they had raised money. The city had tax-free money, and they were going through and cleaning everybody's yards up, like the bathtub and the 7 broken down cars and the refrigerator that had been out there rusting for 30 years.
Mhm.
People were signing petitions and protesting about their trash being taken away for free. That was my introduction. That was my introduction
Oh,
to
I
it.
wouldn't have lasted there very long. That would
Well,
have driven me crazy. Um,
nice people. Like honestly, like there's really kind people here, but there's not much to do. Like it's if I order delivery pizza, it's 5 miles down the mountain to pick up my delivery pizza.
what?
And that's the closest we have. So
No.
I see a couple people showing up. I see Phil. I see Carrie. Hey guys. Phil's in New Zealand. Cosmic Voice. I know you know Cosmic Voice because you guys talk a lot. And Carrie, she
And
is my moderator. I think she's in Australia. Carrie, put in the chat. I think you're Australia, if I remember correctly. what profound things are we going to discuss today? That's up to you guys, actually. So Marc has quite the ability with dowsing and the pendulum, and so you guys get to decide kind of where the conversation's going. Well, hi from down under. She is in Australia, and so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. If you want me to start out, I will, unless Marc has, anything he wants to start with, of course. But maybe you could tell them a little bit real. Go ahead, Marc.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to say that, well, first of all, I got to get out of this. 1 second. It's easier if I'm there. Okay. When the last time this gang was together, it was with Don Rogers and
Yes.
and Spinja, and
Yeah.
they were talking. In the end of that episode or that program, they were talking about when Don was going to die, and Spinja was sort of she was in an energy of the 4D blackness, seeing his light, and in that space, telling him, no, you're not going to go now.
She Mortal Kombated him back in.
Yeah. Now, I've heard of NDE things where someone's at the bedside and then the person is kind of going and they'll shout at the bed, no, you can't go now, and then they hear it and they come back. But that was completely different because of that black space they were both in. So it reminded me. So the message you put up was Miraculous Marc, if they could read it in that funny, because was my college nickname, and that's because at that time, that was the beginning of the shit that started to go on in my life. There was some in my childhood. I was abducted and certain things like that, but things went wrong when I hit 18, and I told my mother to F off, and then I was kicked out. And then I was eventually in college, and that's where I got the nickname because I was hospitalized twice for near fatal injuries. I had ruptured appendix, which was really severe. And I was in the hospital for more than 2 weeks getting the poison out of my system because it had ruptured. And then I had a weird freak accident, broke collarbone, didn't know what happened, ended up with brain surgery. Found out the cops were trying to hide what happened because they took me home with my bike, my 10-speed, but they should have taken me to the hospital. So luckily in London, which is a medical center here in Canada in Stay, had a CAT scan. There was only 2 in Canada at the time in 74. There was Toronto and London, not Montreal, not Vancouver, not Edmonton, Calgary, or anywhere. Just London and Toronto. So anyways, I had brain surgery, which was screwing up my college. I didn't complete it, but so it gave me a lot of time to party because I was sort of around, but not going to classes. So anyways, that's how I got to be Miraculous Marc. So following that, I had 13 instances of things that could have killed me.
How many? 13?
13. So I had 3 lightning.
3 lightning? Wait, lightning bolt?
3 construction, 4 hospitalizations, a motorcycle, an air conditioner from about the 5th floor here in this building. And let's see what else. I nearly committed suicide in 90 because I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I couldn't shake it, and my life was just being destroyed. People would know it as fibromyalgia now, or Malaysia.
Oh, fibromyalgia. Yeah, I have that.
But it was back in my day, it was chronic fatigue. So anyways, it's been miraculous that I'm still here. And back when I was in my late 20s, 28, 29, 30, I paid to see a psychic. He said these wonderful things about my life. And then I met a girl who was a friend of a friend here in London. And she had more books on metaphysics and subjects of that matter in her house than the London Library had. She had an entire room full of these books, and she would teach people in a circle how to fine tune their psychic abilities. So, anyways, my friend Terry was giving me a tarot reading, couldn't get it. So she called Luann in, and this is the woman whose house I'm visiting. So Luann looked down and looked at me and goes, "What's the matter with your mother's legs?" Which my mother had a problem. And then she goes, "You're going to have a tough life. It'll work out in the end. It's something like a lottery." So anyways, then I told that story to my hairdresser at Bedell Sassoon. I was really advanced. Yes, sir. I was a style person in the day. And she was psychic, so she asked to take my ring. And then she had to quit because she was in a car accident. And the girl that ended up cutting my hair after her was always asking, have you become rich yet? Because we must have told her I'm going to get rich. This never happened. I'm 70 years old now. But I understand where it's going to go. But there's a lot of things I can't say on this program because I'm healing and inventing things.
Yes.
So there's things I cannot say just yet, but we're really close to where we could say, you can't say heal, you can't say cure, they'll come to your door. You're better in Mexico. That's why there's all these cancer clinics down there, so people can do advanced things. So there's things to be done now that I can maneuver. So I'm looking to leave Canada, go somewhere. And that's another story about how that's changed. But anyways, that's just the background of the weirdness of my life and how I got here and what I'm doing. And the scalar equipment's behind me, and there's the chair I sit in. And I've done tricks with scalar that no one has ever done.
This is a creative writing class. We're not doing any uncancering or over unhealings or anything.
So
read between the lines. No, but it's interesting you say that because there's this reoccurring theme that keeps coming back to me about like different doctors. Like, I hope I say it right. I think his name was like Dr. Sebi, and he was in like South Africa. And I know there was another doctor who, forgive me, I don't remember his name, but he was out of Texas, and they were doing things where they were using natural holistic methods, and they were reversing the advanced stages that people were at when they would come to him. By the time they leave, it would be gone. So whatever mutation was in the cell, he was able to do that, where they were able to heal that. But as we all know, once you start doing that for people, they come and they take your license away and, prosecute till the end, right?
Yeah, they're going to take, well, that's the thing. Like, okay, so you're SSP, and many people, that's how I kind of found you and other people like Jay and things like that, because of maybe typical skeptic or some of the other people I've learned to follow because of the SSP. So I can help you, but that would really endanger my life. So there is a point, from my understanding of what I'm getting when I douse, that I will shortly be able to do some things to help the SSP people. So there's a lot to do. I mean, I would say right now I could probably remove, nuclear waste, clean it up. Now, I could do a small sample in a university lab here at the University of Toronto, something like that, where they do it, because we make our own nuclear reactors in Canada. We're not a backwards country by any means. And but there's big money. You'd be stepping on some pretty big toes because they're making billions treating it. Some of it in the U.S. goes to, of course, you're making weapons, specialized weapons. But the other part is all being treated, and I could do it way, way cheaper. And to do it in bulk, I need one more thing. And I'm going to have to send letters out to some people and see if I can get them interested in creating what I would call a circular scalar field. Because if that can be done, then you can have clean water. You can get rid of gasoline. Really? You can do a lot if you can get that done. So we're all on this precipice of change, but it's kind of like you got to wait till the vibration into the ascension process is high enough so that we are safe to do it. And there was, okay, I sent you a notice, and I think you can see the timeline shift now, because I sent you a notice where the European judicial system has allowed people to go after the doctors because of what happened with the thing
quack,
in the
quack,
eye,
quack.
the quack in 2020. So that should not happen on a bad timeline. So we've shifted. See, there's an example of a shift, because now people have the right to call a lawyer about the family member that's either injured or passed away. Oh, well, there's a few of those.
I got some snake oil, you guys.
Well, okay. I mean, that's the problem, because everyone said they're, especially now, because all of the, what's in media, what we call the alternative media, they're always talking now nutrients and things. And
yeah.
And they'll have some guy who's got this miracle cure, this miracle device, and 95% of them, when I douse, don't work. Okay. Like you can't just say, we've got this special magnesium that's crystalline, blah, blah. Well, in the healing process, you would need the crystalline and this, and a cofactor here of this to make things work. A single nutrient is not going to heal you. Not too much, anyway. Okay, here, let me show you. Yeah,
I'm so glad you guys are here. I thought there'd be more people than this, but we did just get started. So if anybody has questions, though, just throw them in the chat, and we will make sure we get to them.
Yep. So I make scalar and hydrogen water. I take this regular, real Canadian natural spring water, and I scalar it, and I turn it into high hydrogen water. Some people call it Brown's gas. And then I infuse, like the heart formula has about 25 items in it. Okay.
Wow.
Now that bottle there, you see, all you do is you take an ounce of it, and then you mix it with, hang on, a 4-liter bottle of this.
Holy cow.
So what I could probably sell you for $5 and make a handsome profit off will make you 3 to 4 months worth of a really good mixture of high-end water, high hydrogen. Like my hydrogen, it would be H10. It starts out at 7. The hydrogen water starts out at 17H, but then by the time I scalar it, it becomes 10. But you're drinking, instead of buying brown gas machines and all that, this can do that, and I could sell it to you for next to nothing.
You said $5?
Yeah, I could $5 or $7 and make a profit on it nicely. If everyone bought it, I'd make $1 a bottle.
That's amazing.
And then it would be like for 4 or 5 months of drinking it 1 glass a day. It's like a vitamin. It's not like a super healing thing, and it's more attuned to people of higher vibration. Okay, another thing that people like in the health unit is carbon 60. Have you ever heard of it? Okay. Well,
if anybody's heard of it, put it in the chat, and I'll throw it on the screen.
Okay.
Tell me everything.
Well, with carbon 60, I was always getting that it would not be a good thing, and then I discovered it's because if people want to use it as an antioxidant of special properties, you need a higher vibration for it. So anyone who's listening to this program could buy carbon 60 and get something out of it. Where the guy on the street one of the backdrop people, one of them wouldn't do anything for them.
In the club.
I feel sorry for them. And they outnumber us, by the way. There's 55% of them unsouled beings on this planet and 45 of soul beings. That's telling me that. But I talked to channeling. I have go-to channelers I talk to verify what I'm dowsing about.
I think it's more about the quality versus the quantity. You know what I mean? Because you can get a whole lot of crap for nothing, or you can get something of some substance. You know, when I was in college, I remember taking like critical thinking and psychology. And one of the things they said is that even if it is the cheapest, most just a shit item that's been manufactured, if it's priced for more money than another one that's even better than it beside it, people will buy the more expensive one just because of the price.
No.
Now, I buy the cheapest one.
Well, I douse the cheapest one. See, when I was buying my things to make these formulas, like I have heart, lung, tummy, liver, longevity, I believe I'm the only person who can increase the stem cells in your body with my formula.
Does that affect the aging of the body? Like the telomere caps? They say we shouldn't be aging at all.
Well, no, we were supposed to live a long time. I think in the time of Atlantis, we were 800 years.
I could believe it. I mean, you look at the Sumerian Kings list, and I remember Dr. Lloyd Pye, who unfortunately has passed away, but he was connected with the Star Child skull. And he had this really cool presentation he did called Everything You Know is a Lie. And he talked about the technology had reached the precipice where they could look at our, deoxyribonucleic acid, and they could see it had been coded, like modified. And I know Billy Carson talks about the telomere caps that have been capped off. There's a worship gene in us. Damon T. Berry talks about the difference between something as simple as, eye color. It's just one little letter. So I do believe that there's been, this is my personal opinion, I could be totally wrong. I think every time they do one of these resets, we're getting a lower quality model, so to speak. And they talk about this body of fire and this body of clay in the Bible. I'm starting to think, we are beings of light. Maybe we're even not alive here right now. When we die, we're actually alive because we're in that frequency, that vibration, right? So why would they want to do that? Well, if I was, an enemy to source, and I was designed to live forever, but I had been away from source so much that I was falling deeper and deeper into the density of the light spectrum, I would probably get me a cord or whatever to plug myself into. And by cord, I mean like into the chakras. Like they say this is what one of the ways they infiltrate us is they've got their cords in our chakras, and they use it like a phone charger for themselves, basically, in a way.
They have a whole plethora of ways they're attacking us now.
This is going to drop the bucket.
Well, just recently it was really hot up here in Canada. It was like 32 degrees Celsius, which would be like 87, 90 Fahrenheit. But because we're on the Great Lakes, it's humid. So it's not dry heat like Arizona has. It is very moist heat. So I was out, and someone was going to throw out some beer cans, and they're recyclable. And I hate people throwing away money. So he was going to throw them out into recycling. I said, no, I'll take care of them. I'll go. And so because I'm going to squish them so I can put them in my apartment closet. And I was out in the sun for 20 minutes collapsing these. And I came back in and I was terribly sick for about an hour. So when I kind of had a nap and then came out, I decided to douse on it. What I discovered was there was a band of energy across the Great Lakes from Chicago to New York City. And it was about 40 to 50 miles in width. And that was the length of it. And they were from satellites attacking us in this heat. It's like there was the incident maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months, where there was a fog on the eastern seaboard, and it was happening in Britain and other countries around the world. So this was just another experiment by them, but I mean, I shouldn't have felt sick for just being in the sun. I mean, I'm in shorts. So I take my t-shirt off, put it around my neck so I can try not to look bone white. Get a tan.
This glows in the dark, and if it's not glowing in the dark, it looks like Sebastian the Crab from Little Mermaid. Like I'm either peeling red or I'm glow in the dark. There's nothing in between that, okay?
I like peeling people's skin off their backs when they sunburn.
I mean, I'm not that person. That was me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Can't
me
blame me
too.
sunburns I had with blisters. And sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. This is the glue peeling kids right here. That's our club.
Oh, they want
You know-
attachments, all right.
You know,
I
keep going.
Okay, I had one removed, an attachment. I when I learned how to lucid dream, it became something I learned from Carlos Castaneda's books. The last book was The Art of Dreaming. So all of a sudden it just started happening, and I could then do it very easily for a while, and not anymore. But when I was learning to do it, I had a dream, and I woke up in the dream and going, I'm awake in a dream. This is great. This looks like I'm in Gibbons Park in London, Ontario, but I'm in a dream. There's a washroom. Okay, so let's control it, because I had a ring on those days. So in the dream, you would play with your ring to focus your attention in the dream. So I'd be focusing on the ring, and then I'd say, okay, I got control. I'm now going to look left and just check out this. So I go to the left and I go, oh, there's a pond with flowers around it. And that's not in the real park either. Okay, so I come back to the washroom again. Then I'm playing with the ring. And then I go to the right, and there on the table about 50 feet away is a reptilian at a picnic table. And I went, oh, back to washroom, play with ring, don't freak out. There's a reptilian over there. So then I went, okay, we'll go look over there slowly. And you look over, yeah, he's still there. So I found out I had an implant on my etheric aura section. So I had to get someone qualified to remove it. And then my dowsing became much more clear once that thing got off me. But that was the only one I had. That's when I asked Daniel Scranton. That was one of the things. So I said to them, will you remove it? And they said, no, we'll teach you how to get rid of it. I said, no, thanks. I'll find someone. Bye. That's it. So I did find someone to do it.
Do you think that was like a, because I've heard there's a few different types of implants. I've heard that there are actual physical chips, right? Like Dr. What's his name? Roger Lear, before he passed, he would go in and try to physically remove them and do some kind of, whatever his machine was to figure out what the elements were. But then there's a guy named, I think his name is like Luis Gravazzi. I'll look up the name and put it in the chat before we're done tonight. But he speaks English and Italian. And what his setup is this. He is a hypnotherapist, and he has a partner that is a remote viewer. And what they'll do is they'll bring on someone who their life is just in shambles or under attack, whatever it may be. They do children. They do. No one is exempt. Everyone's welcome. But they'll try to hypnotize them. Now, if they can't hypnotize them, he'll use his partner, the remote viewer. And what seems to be the common theme is that it's like an etheric implant, right? Like, and we have somehow given permission for this. And by this permission, they have, put their hook into the chakra. And it's always the same thing. It's a reptilian or a gray. He has them open a portal, throw their fear through it, and then raise the vibration so they're just like a beacon of light. And as soon as that happens, these entities cannot withstand the presence of it. But I'm starting to wonder if there is there's not a difference between the two. It's the quantum entanglement, or basically the vibration. We may not be able to physically see it or feel it, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
Oh, no. Well, actually, if you had enough directed energy on the psychic level against an etheric, you could do it. That kind of thing would never work on a physical.
What do you think would work on a physical? A scalar wave?
Something of frequency.
Okay. That's interesting.
But there's only a handful of people that I know in the world that can do that. And that's why I can't help people yet.
Yeah. We're going to get into charades one night, you guys.
We will.
No, I don't
No,
want
there
you
will
to
be
do
a
anything
point.
I don't want you to get your safety jeopardized, Mark. Whatever it is that you need to share, it's not so important that I don't get to ever see you again. So I always say people are not replaceable, things are. So you just hold on to that secret until the time is right.
Yeah. But I think it's very close. That's why I brought up the point about that law in Europe, because I'm going, whoa, that's super on our side. So
Yeah, it's
this is good.
interesting.
But we should go into something else here. Unfortunately, it's not such a good story, but it's one we need to know. Okay, so I want to do my healing and live somewhere other than Canada in winter. So I wanted to go to Thailand, maybe Vietnam, maybe Malaysia. And when I used to talk to Yara and channeling, they used to joke. They're not usually humorous, but they said, well, Vietnam would be more interesting for you because you would probably stop eating the meat because you wouldn't know what you're eating, whether it's dog or cat. And
Or
that's their
human.
joke. Yeah, they don't know. They just said you would be questioning some of the food you're eating, so they don't want me to eat meat. So, anyways, I'm going, okay, thanks for that. But all of a sudden, they came in through on a WhatsApp message because if she sends me a message on WhatsApp, sometimes they come in and start talking on the WhatsApp message. And they said, no, you can't go to Thailand now. I said, why? They said, tsunamis.
They had those in Guam. They had
So,
those in Guam.
so I was following someone named Ann Tucker on YouTube who has a major tsunami happening from the Indian Trench, which is, you can actually find it on Google Maps. She said it will be so big, the sound will be heard around the world.
Like
But
a
her
trunk.
information is coming from Archangel, so I don't trust a great deal. But when I dowsed on it, it said this could happen. Now they're saying, this is now Yara's higher self saying, yes, there could be one. But then there's another person, her name's Pamela Downs. She's got one coming from America's side on that coast, on the west coast of the US, with chunks dropping off and heading that way. So I doused about that. And I said, and I'm getting now, yeah, that can happen too. So right now we have two competing situations for major tsunamis to wipe out a lot of people. And I don't know if people are going to be able to handle that when they see that on the TV. Should it happen? But now, just the last 2 weeks, you had a major one in Alaska, two in Russia, tsunamis coming in, waves hitting Hawaii, Japan, even the US got hit with some waves from that tsunami from the 8.8. So Mother Earth is expanding. So then there's people this weekend talking about Earth's expansion of energy, which relates to these releases on the planet of energy that create volcanoes and tsunamis and movement of plates. So it's all seeming to be bundling here at this time. So you got friends who are living in LA and San Diego. You said you were from San Diego.
Yeah, this was made in San Diego. Drives like it's from San Diego.
Well, those may not. I warned one of the guys I like on BitChute who writes articles. He's in Vancouver. I said, hey, I warned him about 4 months ago. So I warned him again the second time. It's the only time I'll do it anymore. You got your warning. But anyways, it could, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could. And it'd be terrible if it did.
It's really interesting.
Mm.
I don't even know where to go. Man, you had so many things going through my head, and now I'm like, I was so stunned when you said that. It's like I forgot what I was gonna say. Do you think? Okay, let me tell everybody in the chat real quick. So, because I know you and I email quite a bit and privately, I've been looking into these space mission and launch patches. They look kind of like military patches for special units. And they have like a little motto and like, a theme like colors or animals. And I keep running into some repetitive themes. And one of them is like this giant space octopus and a dragons. And basically what I started noticing between me decoding Pittsburgh and then jumping over to Boulder is these wall murals that are showing up in communities. And I didn't think much about it in Pittsburgh because I thought it was the one-off. I mean, it literally was all occultic and Illuminati type of imagery, and it was literally attached to a store or a venue called Spirit, where they had like Illuminati blood bingo or something. I mean, like it was just ridiculous. It went on, right? And I was like, that's really interesting. Well, then I get to Boulder and I start finding gigantic octopus all over the walls there. I'm finding Monarch High School with monarch butterflies. We already know what that goes to. But on top of it, I'm seeing that the color theme matches these territories that I've discussed with these mothers of darkness, that there's like 4 dragon territories in the United States, and then the rest of the world has a corresponding territory, and they have colors. And I've started to notice, like, I'll give you an example, Mark. My friend sends me a picture of her little girl in King Soopers last week in Boulder, Colorado. And her daughter's in front of this big, like, cardboard cutout for Pepsi. And it's a Hospitaller Knight. So it's got very specific armor. It's got very specific, sword. And the colors, I noticed the color theme is like this blue and yellow or blue and gold, which I keep finding over in Ukraine. And so I'm seeing like this theme where it's like, okay, this isn't a thing like, oh, this is a founding father, right? We have the 13 original colonies. This is not one of those situations, right? Like where they have like the town architectures to the heritage, or that's like an ode for the establishment of the town. I'm finding more stuff with art, architecture, blatantly out there. I mean, you would think you were in Rome when you're in Colorado, because there's so much saturation with their symbols. And once you see them, I can't turn it off. Like, I drive everyone crazy because they'll try to tell me something and I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you how that's all connected. And they're like, it's not that deep. I'm like, no, it is that deep. It is that deep.
It probably is. Yeah, it probably is. Well, Colorado, you've got the Denver airport. They did a thing with the Ebola virus there. They did a test set up a lab there for Ebola. That was about a year ago. And people were freaking out that lived near there. Go, what do you mean we're going to put a lab in here and do Ebola? Here. No, I wouldn't in Colorado.
To do that. It's supposed to be illegal to patent a virus, like virology, like what they did with the, the quack, quack, quack.
They still do.
Oh, yeah, they do it all the time. It's really, like, one of the most interesting stories that I heard was Dr. Jason Giorgiani, when he was on Danny Jones. He was talking about, it was like medieval times, where the Grim Reaper came from, that imagery of the Grim Reaper. And what he said is that King Charlemagne had to literally like establish laws because there was these flying discs coming down and these entities that were in like, garb head to toe that was like all black robes. And they had this like scythe that they would come through, towns or villages and spray the crops or spray the like door frames. And then the next thing you know, the Black Plague would be there and everybody would be, they'd be dead. So I've started to wonder, like, they usher things in like, oh my gosh, like what was it with the quack, quack, quack? It was like an octopus or a bat or something from the seafood market. And it's just such a crock of shit, right? Like, come on, like seriously. Like that dance, like I may not have been born yesterday, but I wasn't born last night. Like sometimes I wonder that, are people being brainwashed by some of these frequencies that are coming off of these satellites? And they are so programmed, their brain is so manipulated that they're not even able to think for themselves anymore. It worries me.
I think, oh no, I'm starting to see it now. I mean, I live in a building with older people, which are prone to any of this anyways. But you're seeing it in the 40 to 50-year-olds and the 38-year-olds. Just not there when the mind is supposed to work in a situation, and they miss it, and it causes a lot of problems. I mean, it's scary because, okay, in my world, I had cataract surgery in both my eyes. And my dowsing said that the doctor who did it cannot work anymore. Okay. Now, my family doctor, I'm dowsing on her, how's she doing? And I'm getting she's working kind of part-time as a general physician. When I was in, what brought me in was COPD, double pneumonia. I was in University Hospital. I had an internist there. It's had a funny name. It's Dr. Marco Obrada.
Polo.
He had his first name of Marco, and his last name was Marco Obrada. So anyways, I talked, and he's got problems, but he's still working, but he's not going to be solved with traditional medicine because of what came in that thing was really high-end alien stuff. That was alien knowledge to get all of that stuff in there, all that technology in there, and the continual production of these things that come from like charcoal. You know what I mean?
Yep. Read between the lines, you guys.
Like you knock these things into the wood.
Like a whack-a-mole.
So these things are constantly producing, wiping out your immune system. And now the people we're going to rely on are going down. So it's best to have a alternate healing modality so we don't have to sweat this. And like, since I've been doing my waters and that, I've never had a cold or flu.
I'm going to put that in there again about your water one more time.
But the one thing I wanted to say to people is, if you have a high enough vibration, you will miss a lot of the things that people tend to worry about. So, for example, people saying, well, if I have sex with a person or make love to a person who has had the jab, will I get the thing you hammer with on?
The gift that keeps
my
on
body?
giving?
Will it come into my body? The answer is no. Because what we don't realize is most of us are going back and forth to the fifth dimension or the fifth level within the fourth dimension. Depends on what you want to call it. So you cannot take those things with you there. They won't go. They don't transfer up. So people think they're going to, if they die, they're going to be tricked. Or they've got all these fear factors coming in or all these things. But if you vibrate high enough, stop worrying about all these small things. You are not affected by 5G. You're immune to it. So.
Yeah, I can totally see that. What do you think for people that are not technically savvy, or maybe they don't have the means to buy something like a Spooky 2? Do you have any recommendations? Like, I go outside and stand barefoot every day in the sun and ground, or I will try to do a meditation. But I feel like that's enough for me. Now, I've been under kind of some screwed up circumstances lately, but for the most part, I don't feel like a victim. I mean, it sucks. I've been sad lately, but you know what I mean? Like, that to me is a sign that I'm doing something right. So all I've got to say is I got this for them, and, they can F off because I'm not going to stop. You know what I mean? I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of having everybody I love taken from me. So I'm sure as hell not going to lay down and take it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because ultimately I believe we have the power.
Okay, simple things to do to be healthy. Well, first of all, because the grounding is really important. Meditation, if you're into it, fine. On the health scale, if you could replace sugar with stevia. Your body doesn't like sugar or alcohol. Sorry to say.
No, it doesn't.
That's beer.
Stevia.
Anyways, sugar is not good for you, and I on my coffees and everything have stevia. and it's expensive, but it goes a long, long way. It can last forever almost for the amount of I put in my coffee. And then when I do have a sweet late at night, when I have my sweet tooth, I feel okay. I really reducing it because it's one of the feeds of cancer, but not necessarily the only one. Even bread it converts to sugar. So if you
Yeah.
ate just meat and fruits and vegetables and it was clean and organic, that would be where to go. I eat my cheese and I eat my bread, but honestly, you shouldn't. I'm
I love
70.
cheese. Cheese is my favorite. I could live on cheese.
I
I'm not being
know. I
so
got
serious.
cheese in there. I know.
I'm like
The
a
other
little
thing
mouse.
is, what do this every day for at least a month and do it a couple times a year is baking soda and water.
I do that for acid reflux. It works really well.
That's what I use. But to actually get your alkaline up and your pH levels up in your body, then 1 month with 1 teaspoon in a 6, 8 ounce glass, knock it back early in the day if you can. And it's probably best to do it before you have your 3 cups of coffee because that's highly acidic.
Told you that in confidence. Thought we were friends. It's really just creamer, okay? I'm just drinking creamer. I'm not even doing the caffeine. No, I'm one of those. I'm one of those. If I don't, as long as I don't taste the caffeine in it, but I get the side effect, like all I want to taste is like the sugar. But I'm actually I have allergic reactions to sugar. I'll break out like in hives and stuff. Like I have it all over me right now. It's hit or miss. Sometimes I can eat a bag of candy, no big deal, and other times I'll eat it and you can see it like real time break out. Like I'm a teenager
Time
going through
lapse
puberty again.
photography.
Yeah. I named them all. No.
Well, you can use natural honey and
Yeah.
maple syrup. Oh, that's expensive. No.
Hey, oh, I've heard maple syrup is pretty good though. I hear
Oh,
you
I
guys
like
have the
it.
best.
Oh, I love it on French toast.
Mm. I love that big ball of butter they put on top.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect. Oh
I
no,
just
fats are
dream
good for
about
you.
butter. I don't
No,
need it
fats are
anymore.
actually good. If you were to look at a flow chart of how food gets broken down and utilized in the body, fats provide the energy for exercise and stuff. So if you were to look at this process chart in a poster that's as big as a screen, the fat component is only about this big in it. Okay. When you try and bring in proteins and carbohydrates, all this other stuff has to happen. But if you want energy, you can get it from fats. So that's why you have the ketogenic diets of the meats. So you're better off just eating meat if you want to eat anything.
I actually really feel bad. Let me just say, I used to be a meatitarian, okay? Like my favorite thing is a steak that's brought out that's still mooing. But now I feel, first of all, I read that people are having incredibly terrible times with depression because of the condition the animals lived in. And then they're consuming them. And the like cortisol, the hormones in the animal is so concentrated that it is biologically like affecting us. But I just feel so guilty. Like, we had farm animals, we had goats and pigs and chickens. And Aaron was like, yeah, we're going to be like raising our own livestock. And I'm like, no, these are friends, not
These are
food.
pets, yeah.
Yeah, they're
I couldn't
pets.
have them. I couldn't do it.
I can't do it. I
I
can't
can go
do
to the
it.
store and buy it, but I can't do it to a pet. No way.
Man, I can eat the eggs, okay? I'll eat the eggs. That's fine.
Well, eggs are very good.
But
I have a rye.
I
Get
don't
it
even want to talk about my birds right now because I rehome actually, I will tell you. And I saw that BI today on my dad's property, and I thought, I was like, you know what? You don't want to go to jail. Basically, I rehomed my fawn runner duck, Omega, because I had 2 ducks, Alpha and Omega. Alpha, she passed. So then I put Omega with my chickens. And I was down to I had Bunny, Kale Tony, Goldie Hen, and Phoenix. These were my 4 chickens and Omega. And this girl that was coming over every weekend to see her boyfriend, who was one of my dad's tenants' children. For a year, she begged me, please let me have your duck and chickens. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I know everything there is to ever know about ducks and chickens. I have a, you know what I mean? She was like the Martha Stewart of ducks and chickens. Like, so I finally, after a year and kept losing birds, decided, okay, you know what? I probably should allow, if she's got a barn and she's got all this setup that she claims, I want the animals to have a better quality life. So against my better judgment, I rehomed my animals. I had such a bad feeling when I shut the door, Mark, on the car. I beat I can't even go out and look at the animal pen. It's been a couple months since I found out, but I am so broken because I raised them from babies and I was so attached, especially my duck. Like he was so, I never had to clip his wings and he never flew away and he didn't even swim till he was like a year old, but he used to sit in his little like kiddie pool out there and like look at me and follow me around. And I was very connected to him on like a higher level. And so I started bothering this girl from literally the moment she got home from leaving here with my birds for months. Every week I was like, hey, I'm not going to say her name on here. The BI that I gave my birds to, I was like, how are they? Send me a picture. I finally find out after she's given me the runaround for 2 months, they had all died. That she had not had a barn or any kind of setup where they were going to be put up at night and protected like she had led me to believe. And a bobcat, which aren't even common around here, supposedly got in and had ate them all. And the only reason I found out is because I finally cornered her. And and when she told me too, it wasn't even like, hey, I'm really sorry. It was, poor me, the sky's falling. I'm crying wolf, you know? And she was like, she had the audacity to tell me how bad she felt for herself. I could have unalived her. I'm just saying, but I am not that kind of person. I bless her heart. Hope she has a coronary.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just talking to Yara yesterday, and she's on a horse farm, but they raise chickens and they have geese. And so they're pets to her. And she had two of the chickens kept flying out of their coop thing and then staying with them by their trailer. So they ended up nesting in some sort of barbecue situation. I don't know what it looked like, but anyways, Jermaine and Chantel met a fox last night and they're gone. So here she's showing me all these videos and she's holding the birds and now they're dead. So she's heartbroken.
I can understand completely.
But
I know
it's
it
not
sounds
the first
silly,
time.
right? Like I know they're just chickens and ducks, but I mean, I've had some unusual, like when I was a kid, I was so bullied that my best friend when I was like in 5th and 6th grade was a horse. And I felt more of a connection with my horse than I did with human beings until I was like 19 and moved to Guam. But I feel like animals are forgiving, they're compassionate. I think they have, if you know what I mean? Like I look at my dog when he lays out in the sun, and Tucker, my pit bull, is like the happiest dog I've ever met. Like this dog, Trixie's the 180 of him. She's always just like frowning, right? Like she's like a 90-year-old woman. But Tucker, he's just happy go lucky. And I look at him when he's laying out in the sun and I'm like, I think he's got it figured out. Like just to have that kind of, to be content, just with nothing but, some sunshine and a good nap. Like my goal is to be that humble that's enough for me to feel like everything in the world is right. Disconnect from the material if possible.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not. There was a Perth in Oklahoma too. You're a good dad, Phil. I think don't you have a daughter and a son, if I remember correctly? She doesn't enjoy Perth. Well, tell her to come on back. That's the beautiful thing about, airplanes. They go both ways usually. So would anyone like Mark to maybe do some dowsing? Or I've got a whole list of questions, but I want everybody to have an opportunity to go ahead and start my questions. I can ask Mark my questions anytime. If no one has thought of any questions, then I will go ahead and I will start. But you guys can ask, are there any limitations or anything that are boundaries that you would prefer not to discuss?
No.
Okay. All right. So whoever wants to pop it on in, go ahead. I do want to talk a little bit about those wheels. And I kind of talked to Jason, who's in the chat, about this privately over text. So there is this, I don't know if they are what they call ophanim, which are like the wheels with the eyes. Sometimes they call them the thrones of God. I keep seeing that like appear in old artwork, like medieval artwork. I keep seeing, we talked about the statue where I sent you the picture, right? And we're not quite sure where that is yet. I keep wanting to say CERN, but I could be wrong. The other night when I had that download, it was like 3:42 a.m. I woke up out of a dead sleep and I was looking at images on my phone that I had saved months ago. And all of a sudden things were just clicking for me. And one of the things that I saw was that wheel that was the statue looked to me like it was conscious. And it looked to me like it was waiting to be like woken up again. And what's so weird is like, I've had this like reoccurring vision. I don't know when it started happening, but I always get this feeling like right now I've forgotten something. And as soon as I remember what it was that, was going on before I came into this, construct and had my mind wiped, I feel like the moment it clicks, it's going to be like game over. The walls come down and whatever was going on is going to resume again. And I feel like I've kind of been under this being chased through different, I don't know, being different species or different timelines. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like there's something significant there with that wheel, and that when it activates or comes back to life, something major is going to happen here for us with that. Now I could be full of shit. I don't know.
Well, it can be reactivated.
It can.
It can be. Hang on. They're attempting to try and do it. It will be tricky in the next little while for them to get it to work. And let me see if they're going to get it to work. Yeah, they're going to keep working on it till they get it to work. Let's see if we can get a time frame, because future is not so good with dowsing. It's more the here and now. What is truth? Yes, no, up, down, whatever. Numbers. A couple of years.
He's channeling and he's looking to see if there's any truth to it and if it's worth even being in our conscious field. So who do you think that they is that's trying to find the keys for this car that hasn't been started in a while, Mark?
Okay, hang on. Is it well, you're looking at like I wonder how many factions there really are. You have you could say basically the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, which is Black Sun, and and you have the Dragon family in China.
Here, I got it right here.
And oh, by the way, when you were mentioning dragons, there's been no good dragons on Earth. In our history, there's always been bad dragons.
Did you credit Phil?
Now, they were good dragons, and they were nearly all destroyed. And the ones that are out there, they would like to return at some point. Anyways, okay, hang on.
I know a couple of them in this chat tonight. I think the T-Rex was a dragon. I think that's why it has the extra nasal cavities. And if you look at, the big head with the little arms, it looks just like a chicken.
Hang on.
I don't think I spelled that correctly. Yeah, so Jason, we're going to get into that too after. Mark needs a pendulum for each hand for my ADHD because I've got so many.
It's the Russians who are trying to get that thing to work.
Oh, really? Yeah. So I've kind of wondered if they are part of the club or if they're like, I know Ukraine's important. It used to be called Galicia and Lodomeria. No. Their heraldry is the Holy Grail, but they've changed the history there. So do you think Russia is one of the last, like kind of like Tartarias, or do you think they're part of it and it's another narrative that's just being presented like controlled opposition?
Well, they know what's going on, if you want to call it going on, but they're not. They're tired of the game and they're not playing it anymore. as far as you are concerned, they are the good guys now, because
Well,
they saw what was going on, and he said, "That's it. I'm tired of playing this game. This is Putin." He said, I've had it. I don't care. This is it." Now there is a very important location and portal in Ukraine. There's only 2 locations in the world where people can be downloaded and take a draconian and put them into a human body. 2 of them. One is in Israel. The other one is in Ukraine. So when you see, say, Fauci or the guy from Burla from Pfizer,
yeah,
okay, and all of a sudden their necks are doing weird things.
yeah,
Well, that
yeah.
is, he's inhabited. And they need these locations so they can do that. That's where they go to do that.
Is this one of
So,
those locations?
so there's a place over there called Devil's Mountain that's kind of important.
It's not connected to this.
Oh, well, no, that's where the Alpha Draconians hang out.
I've looked into it. A lot of money for that whole debacle over there, and what? To seize that island for 48 hours, and it's not even inhabited, and a couple of the coastal towns didn't make any sense. And the guy that, Zelensky, when he was at the White House, he did not look like a man that was new to politics and leading a country that had been going through the rigors of war for years. You look at our president before and after, they look like they've aged a whole lifetime, but he was like, no F's given. And I remember watching, what's his name, Walls, the VP. He lost he broke his character. He was so frustrated that Zelensky wasn't, bending the knee to the president, that he finally was like, "You aren't being respectful." Like, you could just tell. You could tell that he was frustrated. He broke character, because these people are usually, they've got their key of secrets, their key of silence, which is, they're going to give up their life if they narc or say anything that they're not supposed to. And the other is the loyalty to their brotherhood. Both are, it's not just them. If they betray something, it's them plus their family. So, it's very difficult to be able to get away from that club when you have those secrets up high and to live to tell about it. But there was something very obvious and weird for how much money we sent over there and how little they were doing, moving through the country. It looked like a crock of shit.
I was just making your defense industry a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. It's big money.
I think that it's also a living sacrifice.
Oh, yeah. On the higher level, sure. That's loose. Big time.
Yeah.
But if Americans would ever just wake up and go watch Oliver Stone's Ukraine on Fire. He did a documentary, which goes back to 2014 and made. Now, I've never seen this movie. I don't need to see it because at the time I was following what America was doing over there. Because they're the ones and they're just constant coups between the Russians and the American Europeans.
Yeah.
And so they had a peace agreement. What was it called? The something accords. Oh, shit. There's number 1 and number 2, and they were backstopped by Russia, Germany, and France, and they reneged. And then who was that really fat, bitchy-looking one who was head of Germany? The little short, fat one.
When Churchill?
No, Germany modern, just before Schultz or whatever. Anyways, she came out when she had stepped down and said, "Oh, we were just stringing Russia along."
Did you see?
They had no intention of a peace accord. So Russia had reached 2 peace accords with them. I forget the names though. It's too bad.
I'll look it up.
And and they reneged on their agreements and their backing of the signings. They signed. Germany and France signed off on a peace accord for that situation. It
wasn't like the Grenada Treaty or anything like that. This is recent.
So that's why I say, Russia just said, "I've had it. That's enough of you people. You can say you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Go fuck yourself, Trump. You know.
GFY.
Yep.
It's the Treaty of Tilsit is one of them, and the Treaty of Paris is another. Let me keep going. These are old. The Franco-Russian Alliance, Franco-Soviet Treaty of Mutual Assistance.
Hang on. Let me look.
French Emperor Napoleon. Let me go current. Treaty of Paris. That's 1801. If anyone knows, put it in the chat, please. Crimea. Come on, guys. If France is, this is. It must be these treaties of Tilsit. The treaties of Tilsit. No.
No, I would know it if I heard it.
Artemis.
No.
Okay, you guys, go fish. I don't know who has the. Hold on, Russia had 2 accords, peace and France.
Let's say 2018.
Let me look. You can tell I've stopped watching mainstream news because I used to be able to answer this stuff, and now I don't. I'm too busy over here in the woo. Man, I saw the best meme last night too. It's like you might call it the woo woo, but I call it was it quantum physics? I loved it. I'm gonna get 2 of them for my car. Okay, what about
Oh, don't worry about it. I can't find it.
Macron's efforts to engage with Russia? If anyone knows, let us know. Mark, are you aware of the trumpet technology? Oh, thank you for bringing this up. I am so glad he said this. I think that is a like a space-based. No, it's not.
No, I've never heard of it.
The trumpet in the end of Revelations, where they talk about like pulling the bowls out and they blow the trumpet. I think it's a like a long-range acoustical device, but so intense that it's not even low frequency. It's like
something else. Bigger.
Yeah.
More.
So,
okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It's the Honda Accords. I used to have a Jason. I have such I love Hondas. I had a CRV too.
There is such a thing as a trumpet technology.
Yeah, I found stuff for it on Pinterest. Man, someone also mentioned the Wheel of Ezekiel, and I believe along with that spinning wheel, I had sent you a patent, and the patent sounds like it's for a hollow saucer, okay? But I don't think that's what it is. The way that it reads, okay, if you read it like literally, it talks about how it's there to maintain and facilitate and project a organization system of 12 things, like the 12 zodiacs. And I think this wheel is what they're using to facilitate the zodiacs, which I think there is a defect in it. Okay. I think it has something to do with maybe, I can't remember. I think it's Libra and Alpha Draconis, but there's something in there where there's a defect, and I think it has to do with Ophiuchus that's no longer part of that. They've instead of going January to December, we're supposed to go December to January, and the big April Fool's thing is that's actually the first of the year. So they've manipulated the time, and I think it has something to do with that device creating a false hologram or false construct.
No, I'm not getting any tie with the wheel to astrology whatsoever.
Anybody have any other good guesses for us? What would you?
No, I wanted to say something about the trumpets because I'd read and I didn't write it down. I always write down notes in my little book because I forget. And so someone had said what the meaning of trumpets was in the Bible. I dowsed it and went, yeah, okay, that says true. And then I didn't write it down. Now I can't remember it. And the only way I can ever find that out is when I talk to Yara's higher self, when I have a channeling session. So it's one of those things I want to know what that trumpet signifies.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, here we go, Felipe. Oh, like those hats that they used to wear. I don't know if you guys remember the gold hats that had like the cuneiform tablet. It looked like a dunce hat with like cuneiform on it, and they were gold back during like Sumer, Babylon, those time frames. I do think, and I do also think this right here. This I don't. Okay, let me start over. I do think there's a consciousness that can come down to the third dimension. And it looks like it has a body like us, but I also think that there is more than one part of that consciousness in different states, depending on the light spectrum. I don't think it's just angels. I think it's angles, like geometry. And I think it's also, like they talk about contracts, right? Well, if you think about geometry with like contractions or contracts with math, it gives it a completely different, it gives it a whole different meaning. I'm starting to think that although they are conscious and come into the third, dimension like we do, where we're in the solid, I'm wondering if these angles have to do with like the way that their light reflected the first time that they came into the physical.
No.
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 I'm
No,
better
but
at multiple choice.
Cosmic Voice is right on 7 angels, 7 trumpets.
So it's not 7 angles.
Whatever that means, that is correct. And he was saying before that the shape of the weapon is trumpet-like, and it's true.
Well, I know in satellites there's a cone, like they call it the L&B, where it's got the eyes that switch between the different channels so that they can go between, like odd or even or local or long distance. It's a satellite is like a hotel in the sky. That's what I learned when I worked at the satellite company. But they do have this, the arm that extends off of the dish, and it's got that eye in there. I believe there's a cone in there.
Could be. I don't know. You want me to do that?
Well, I'm wondering too. So I've been dying to know if the patches that I've been looking at, if those represent conscious technology. It's not just a satellite. Maybe those are considered Metatronic.
Metatronic is a big word.
All right, Metatron.
Metatron's not a good guy.
I know. That's why I'm wondering if he's connected to these launches where they're trying to bring in this 2030 agenda, where they want to basically use low orbit satellites and frequency to control even the thoughts of our head, our moods.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to be there.
Well, thank you. I don't want to be there,
No.
but I do think about it. I mean, I think that we have to be aware of it so that we can take the necessary actions needed to jump the timeline.
Well, it'll happen, although I'm a big believer in the wave.
Yeah, Renetta talked about the wave.
I believe there will be a moment, and from what I've gathered so far, whatever that means, when we get to a certain state of vibrational frequency, we'll get a kick in the pants, and it's going to turn on our DNA, and we have one master cell somewhere in our body that's never been affected by anything the Anunnaki have ever done. It's always been a safeguard for us in our creation because we have a master cell. So this will spur that cell to go brr, 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 brr. And then all of a sudden you are going to regain all the knowledge, all your Akashic information of every life you've had on Earth, although it might be a bit overload. So you'll start remembering what you did as a scientist in Atlantis, what you did as the healer, the natural path in, Scotland, when you were a druid. So you're going to regain all this information. Now, that vibrational level does not equate with them going to that direction. The bad guys have to stay where they are. We get to go our own direction and up. So they now we have a split. This is going to be a split. And we don't have to worry about it at all.
Do you think this is a copycat?
What, the reality?
Like where we are, like it's like they're trying to, like we're on a video game copy and they're trying to put us, like we're in the game, now they want us to be the game inside the game.
Well, the power of creator gods is a little more powerful than their little fourth dimensional technology. So we are living in a holographic reality as far as that goes. But no, they're total control of this. So they're not sweating when they talk about, when I talk to yours higher self, and I get the, when we get up to the high, they're always just, they really want to talk about love. And it's just,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I look at a lot of dark stuff, but honestly, you guys, like I'm one of those sappy people. I believe love is going to conquer all. I believe at the end of the day that good will always conquer over evil. And, I believe that there is a plan and that it will all fall in at the right time. As long as you're walking in your, you have to be walking in truth. You have to be service to others, not service to self.
right. But the
I
thing
think
is, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go on, Mark.
No, I was just going to say that so many people think that there's all these beings as good, and they're not. That's the crux of being a good, clean dowser is you get to the facts of how few, are service to others. And Yeshua is the only one of what you would think of the names, Muhammad, all the ones in India, Buddha.
All of them. Name them all, Mark.
No, I don't know why people have weird connections because they go back in their reincarnation and they're into this, but they're all really wingnut kind of semi gods.
Yeah.
But then you see, we got Zeus and all of them, and Isis. No, these may be fallen angelish kind of things. I think, I'm not sure on this. I haven't dowsed on this, but I think what happened is angels came down to try and deal with someone like Set or Baal or any of the other demons. So they had to Set was taken down. So once they took Set down, they were really quite displeased, but they ended up hanging around. They didn't go back because they had to become into this reality to take Set down. So then they kind of hung around up in the clouds. And this is how I think we got the archangels. And
I think it's interesting too. That blows my mind. I think you're right. They have multiple names, but I mean, it's like kind of like, you hear about like there's a cataclysm and then there's a receding and there's this wisdom bringer who comes back and they tell us about, how to, do agriculture, right? And then they leave us and they go away, right? And we're supposed to keep, in the balance of the circle of life. I think it's the same person. It's just a different mask, really, It's like Enlil and Inky. You hear that one over and over again. Or Quetzalcoatl, and I never get his brother right, so forgive me. But Ra and Set and Apophis.
Christopher S. Jacobs is good at some of the history, someone you should have as a guest. He's been on Typical Skeptic. And I followed him for about 6 years or more. And he just put out some really important work. I'll email a few things to you after the show or tomorrow.
Okay.
That he was at that conference they all went to.
Really?
Yeah. He's got some really interesting things to say, especially what would be the term? Curses and what's the other one?
Hexes, curses,
yeah,
contracts.
like all about that. He's quite knowledgeable about that.
Does he read seals?
He scores relatively high on my scale of people, not as high as others, but he's up there. And I was watching him. He's got a 4-hour one up there now on YouTube. And there were several inaccuracies. One was on med beds. Now, I know a lot about that whole thing. And that's why I can't talk. Okay?
What about this one? I'm going to put this up on the screen. I wonder about this guy with...
Yeah, right. Cosmic voice. Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened to them, but that's what I think. They fell. They tried to help, and then they kind of got stuck here. So they're not they expect something in return. You can pray to them and they'll help you, but they want something in return. Where I can help someone and there's no cost. I just do it because I like to do it. And I'm always asking my higher self going, I'm service to others. Yeah, I am. But those beings are not. weird.
Not to kind of put myself on the spot here, but when I have these downloads or when they come through, they don't come through like here, like a memory. They come through here, like I'm connecting across time and space with the emotional bond. And I had 3 separate encounters all last week where I was told I had spiritual armor and that I'd been through things that would kill most people. I was told I had beautiful wings, and I've just had so many readings. I know that they say we have an angelic human race, but I do believe that there's those that might have even come here intentionally at this time to have a mission. And I'm wondering, like, am I just like, I'm not trying to be like arrogant about it. I just kind of want to figure out am I connected to that, Mark?
Well, I was just dowsing on the wings part, and you do relate to something with wings. See, I don't actually think they're so especially good. It's sort of like 60-40.
How many wings?
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I was saying. But anyways, I'll ask.
Okay. I can't spell, you guys. You're going to have to help me with my spelling.
2. Are they big? They go above and to the ground.
I feel like they're silver or like ultra. I'm always connected to ultraviolet.
Connect to ultraviolet. No.
Hmm.
No, silver. Yeah. Your silver is better. Okay, were you part of the angelics? That's a yes.
Okay.
See, that's different. There's 2 realities. There's galactic and angelic. So that maybe, remember I told you vibe higher than me, and Jay Skyrunner vibes higher than me. Well, I wonder if it's not somehow you became from the angelic side and you crossed over for some time here in the galactic side. But because the angels were created before galactics were created. So higher vibration, if you haven't fallen from them, it's a very feminine energy, though.
I feel like I was a guy in a past life, though. That's kind of interesting. I think I've had many past lives, but I feel like I have like a kind of like I'm a feminine woman. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of have like a guy attitude, you know? Like I was very like kind of a tomboy when I was a kid, but I've tried to say this without sounding like a sexist. Like I'm more than likely to make fun of someone for driving. I'm probably like, oh, it's a woman driver versus, you know what I mean? And I don't mean it like that. I love women, but I feel like I have this guy attitude and I don't know where I got it from. And it doesn't make sense to me.
Your last incarnation was male.
My last incarnation was what?
Your last incarnation was a male. Was she in the United States? U.S.
Native American?
Midwest. You're in the Midwest.
I just left Oklahoma too.
Farmer? No. Businessman. You're a businessman. Banker?
No, God, if I'm a banker, that's
Office worker type? Yeah.
Scientist or engineer?
See, there might be also the other influence of the other fractals that are on Earth that your oversoul has down here. So there's not just you. Like I've got how many? 5 in the U.S. and 3 in the Middle East.
I definitely want to talk about that.
Different fractals. So you might be very connected to one of those fractals. And sometimes that can be rather intimate, in not sexually. I mean, just
no, like vulnerable.
Like very much okay if that person that you have he's a male, and if he's going through a really tough time, you would be very empathetic to something that you don't know why you feel that way or what's bothering you, but it could be a relationship to that fractal, that God.
That makes so much sense. I will get flooded with emotions that seem so disconnected from my reality. But the one thing I've always felt my whole life is like, I feel like I remember a place where there wasn't all this. I feel like there was like love and everything was peaceful and there was a balance and there wasn't war and there wasn't this corruption. I just feel like the way my heart is and the way that I love and the way that I imagine or daydream about this world being, it's like a memory imprint because I can't think of a time in my life where the world's ever been like this here.
Well, you're super attuned to all your fractals, is what I was just getting. Like you're not, because you're SSP, you had particular talents they wanted and utilized.
I've been super psychic. I've been told since I was a kid. I used to creep my mom out. Like, I guess when I was 2, they were reading me Goodnight Moon for the millionth time. And I was like, Mom, it really hurt when I was born, but I'm okay now.
That would be weird. I was never like that.
I was a weird freaking kid, dude. I was so weird. I was not normal.
No,
My parents started taking me to psych evals like by the time I was in kindergarten and first grade. And I never really understood it because I was a smart kid, but I just didn't want to hold still in school. And I just would cause problems for no fucking reason, I guess, because I don't even really understand why I did it. But if things were cool and calm, I would have to go and stir the pot.
No, I was a good boy. To Cosmic Boys 33, regarding reptilians, yeah, you've had to deal with them.
I've heard me too. I've been told I have some reptilian in me too, but I've been dealing with them. I think that's why I'm so afraid of freaking snakes, man. It's just, I
didn't like them until I got one handed to me. It was a little one, and I held it and I went, "Oh, it's cool." But it's just the way to move.
No, they creep me. It's the eyes. I'll tell you what. It's like a mouth, right? Like it's just a mouth that walks around. Stop, Mark. Like I don't know what it is. Anchor Haven said it's like a screen memory, but I've never been able to shake it. I can deal with scorpions, spiders, lizards, kimono dragons. I like all those, right? Chameleons. The only 2 snakes I like are the one from the Tim Allen Shaggy Dog movie, the one that had the fluffy tail, right? The snake acted like a dog. And this lady who knits sweaters for her snake spaghetti online. That's the only 2 that are okay in my book.
I have not seen either of these. So
I'll send them to you.
That's another thing. Well, Christopher S. Jacobs, he's watched every sci-fi movie that's ever happened, every program. He's got a almost photographic memory. So he's always referring to all these episodes. So it drives me crazy because I can't follow it, because if you haven't seen the episode, it doesn't mean anything.
Which show is he connecting to? Multiple, it sounds like.
No, he can go back to Stargate series number 1 or 2nd season number 5. It's all in.
So it's my father. I've seen every Star Trek episode. This was raised on Star Trek. I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, but I was allowed to watch The Stand and Predator and Alien when I was when I was first grade. But The Simpsons, that's where my parents drew the line. That and Married with Children. Look how good I turned out.
Yeah, I like Married with Children.
I do too. I always like Christina Applegate.
Yeah, she turned me on. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. It's so crazy. Like I just feel like some of these people are not aging, right? Like now, I'm not saying all of them are doing the Google Chrome, but I don't feel like I'm aging. I actually think I look better now than I did 20 years ago. And like Phil, Cosmic Voice, he's in his 50s. He looks like he's in his late 20s, early 30s, and he still skateboards.
Okay, I'm asking if I know the type of beings. Yes. Oh, so I know who. There's some beings with a name I know. Let's see.
All right, you guys, give us some names. Tell Bundy, that's great. Did you know a snake? But
was it a good experience or a bad experience? Is what I would kind of like to know.
Jason, you reminded me of the Ouroboros. I have photos of a ship that was communicating with me. Amtrak is usually super late. Yeah, they have those in California. My luck. One day my ship will come. With my luck, I'll be at the airport.
Ah. Okay, was there more than one? Oh, okay, not. Hang on. More than one different types of beings. No. So there was just the one kind.
Like
you're saying it's Arcturians. Arcturians.
Arcturians. Yeah. So are they kind of split down the middle, these Arcturians? Because I've heard negative and positive. I don't feel like I'm drawn to that, though. No offense to anybody who is. I just don't know why. I don't feel drawn to do it.
Well, I don't know why. No, there's not really, as far as we're concerned, bad Arcturians.
Okay.
Can be, I mean, because anything can happen. But as far as Earth's concerned, no, they were very much involved with the seeding of this planet.
Oh, really? I've been told recently I have a spirit guide who's very serious. He was in my friend's kitchen going like this, "Are you paying attention?" And she had explained, humans can multitask. And
Sure,
she said
that's
he's
not
blue.
Renita.
Huh?
Sure, that's not Renita.
I don't know. She said that this one's been with me a long time, that he's blue. Like she almost thought Pleiadian, but she said, nah. And I was like, maybe Andromeda. But usually Andromedas are very, light and airy and friendly. And she said this one is very serious. She's like, that's why you are so hard on yourself. And then I guess I have some Lyran ones, which makes sense. I could totally see myself connected to
This
cats.
blue one is not Lyran.
I'm on talking, is he? Where's Anchor Haven at? She's got her in you guys, give me some blue creatures.
They are Arcturians again. No. Avians? Blue avians.
Blue. Oh, I've heard that. No, yes. And Rock Cloud talks about these. They meet up as avians and they talk with like their emotions and frequencies and colors.
Okay.
I know Rock Cloud knows who I am, but he's not telling me. But he told me when the time was right, I would figure it out. I think he might come on next weekend. He's very interesting. Okay, so we have.
I subscribe to him, but I don't listen to every episode. I mean, that's why I douse, because I can see all these things that I could watch, and then I'll douse and see if there's anything relevant. So there's a lot of people I am connected to on my subscriptions.
I think they can be blue and red, can't they?
Yeah, they can be blue. Definitely. I don't need to look that up.
Okay.
Many are. Many are.
What about Knowledge of the Forever Time? Did you ever get an opportunity to finish that? David T. Barry.
Okay, what? Did you ask me something? I was just reading Cosmic Voice.
Oh,
sorry. What did you ask?
You can read his and then we'll come back to me. He was told that the Arcturians put a protective shield around him as a child because they knew his life was going to be a bit on the edge.
That's a yes.
Like in an Aerosmith song.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you asking?
I was asking if you had an opportunity to finish the 8 episodes of Knowledge of the Forever Time with Damon T. Barry.
No, I'm still at 4. But I was getting my passport done and online, dentistry for my teeth because there's nothing up here.
Oh my gosh, I'm going through it too. No cavities my entire life, and now I've got a bunch. I've got a broken tooth that hurts too. Are you losing the bone structure? Is that like almost like an
because of what I do, I've got really good bone.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. When I was on methadone, it looked like everybody at the clinic that had been on it a long time had osteoporosis. It seemed like it disintegrated the bones.
It did in teeth. I know it's kind of dumb because that whole system, I think it's an Israeli company that makes it, honestly.
Malincrot makes methadone, and they make
for people with heroin and then you're supposed to take your 15 milligram and then get it down to 12 milligram and 10, and you're supposed to wean off in a year. That was the 1977 idea of methadone for heroin. And they just started letting people take it for 14 years.
I did that. 52 weeks I went from starting methadone to quitting cold turkey, and I quit it, I think like 12 milligrams. I went through withdrawals for a month. It was hell.
I believe it.
And then I decided to go back and do it again because, what's the definition of insanity? And now I'm on this Suboxone, and I just feel stuck. Like I actually feel like it's screwing up my pineal gland, and that's what's keeping me kind of not connecting in all the way.
Hang on.
I hope not, but
no, it's not
good.
No,
I can't stand it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. And now, like honestly, I'm 40, and now 12 cavities. That's what I had between my deep cleaning and going back like a year and a half later. Boom, 12 cavities.
How do you?
I've never had a cavity.
Never having cavities.
Never having cavities in my life. I have zero fillings. My teeth look today the same way they did before I got braces. My mom took a lot of fluoride when she was pregnant with me. Like, I've had amazing teeth my whole life. And now I think it's the methadone more than the drugs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They say it's dangerous.
You
But I'm
get
like,
dental
really?
coverage? Do you have dental coverage?
No, and I'm about to lose everything else. No, I had a plan that I was paying for independently, and it saved me a lot of money. But I was supposed to stay on it for a year. Once I got my teeth fixed, I didn't need it anymore, and then went back later on, and turned out I had to have 2 teeth surgically removed right before I moved here. It sucked, and I went to the dentist a couple months ago, and the woman seriously attacked me in the dentist chair. I left in tears. Yeah, I think she was a witch, and I think the dentist was a masochist. Like, she was choking me with the freaking hose. Like, I know I'm not trying to be sick, you guys, but I have no gag reflex. And this woman was like, I pushed her off of me twice. And the second time I pushed her off of me, she got so pissed. She ended up hitting the light above me. And I was crying so hard. I didn't get my teeth finished being cleaned. Aaron didn't get to start his cleaning. And we'd already spent $700 there for him to have a tooth worked on. And I had 4 appointments set up to get my cavities filled. I never got to get any of that done because I got kicked out of the dentist office because I told her she couldn't choke me. She had to buy me dinner first.
I never heard of anything like this happening in a dentist office in my life.
I'm telling you, I think this one across the street was this high school that had, now that I've learned to read seals, I mean, it's literally like a Trojan or a Roman like soldier. And I'm pretty sure there's a Stargate at that school, or there's some kind of super soldier training going on there, because the energy and the bank across the street's all Roman architecture or colonnades and altars and Ashtaroth domes. I think they're in the club. I mean, there's a lot of them there in the club.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman who lives in this building, and he came in about a year ago. He's a big Greek guy. And he was telling me they're always in the restaurant business. So he was saying that he eventually went from family restaurant to a strip club. And then he had friends who had strip clubs, and it was tied into the mob. But then they said, then the mob would kind of back out when the Masons came. When the Masons came, the show was on inside. The pool table that was for show was used. Big party. So the Masonic people in the industry were at the top. And you were thinking, what? You're a Greek restaurateur? And you know a few people who have some, strip club. But when the Masonic people come to the club, they're there. They're in control of everything. The mob, everything.
They are all connected. They are all connected. That's what started for me like 7 years ago. Was I was like, man, what's the ultimate rabbit hole? Because I've gotten stuck down. I mean, I've done research, and I was one of those that believed for a long time, oh, we're meant to go through school, Earth like it's this school. We're meant to reincarnate over and over again. I'm supposed to have a life review. Like, now I'm like, that's some BS. If I come from Source, and Source is all knowing, why do I have to go through all these lifetimes to, you know what I mean? I think it's a scam, and I'm not doing it anymore. That's all I'm trying to say.
Good luck trying to get out of that contract.
That.
Good luck. Anyways, hang on. Go back. There was a question Mira's asked. Can you go back on that?
Maya Starfire, this girl?
There's a Stargate. How close do you mean near my house?
Oh, she found a 8-sided pyramid that's about this big near her home. It's like an artifact. And she sent me a picture of it. Yeah, I really like Maya. She's cool.
Okay, hang on. Neutral. So I'm not thinking it's not exactly a Stargate, but it could be. Is it portal related? Portal would be a better word. Is it a good portal? No.
Maya, send me your city really quick, and I'll look at your seal, okay? Just send me what city you're in. I won't share it with anybody. I'll just look and tell you if I can see the markings of it. And we'll come back to that. When Mark is ready, we'll move on.
It doesn't bother you, Maya. it's there and it's negative, but it's nothing for you to be overly concerned with. No.
She's really high vibrant. She's had some interesting stories, and I'm not trying to put her on blast, but we had a talk the other night, and I know she is very connected with her spirit guides. I know she connects with ascended masters and goddesses. She can, I'm sorry, Maya, I just have to tell people this because I think it's awesome that you've done the work. She can hear people's thoughts. She told me about walking through San Francisco and an angel appeared and gave her some advice. And she took the advice. But she says now, and this is interesting, she helped me have an epiphany. I had back injury, and after that, I had this like nerve damage where I would, only when holding fragile things, Mark, my hands spontaneously let go or throw them. And I'm constantly dumping things. I'm clumsy or I break something. She told me it took her 2 days to prepare her green shake. And right as she went to take a sip, she said she could hear someone almost like cackling at her, laughing. Like it's like someone just like, she had her guard down and she's distracted for a second, and some ass that's, in the light spectrum where we can't see is effing with her.
Yeah. Well, she's under attack. Where do you go from there?
Sure, we can do something to help you.
Been around all the time? It's been around a long time.
Do you know how it's attacking you or infiltrating you, Maya? I'm pretty sure you're pretty awake. I'm sure you have some kind of idea. And you don't have to tell us if you don't feel comfortable.
Etheric.
No judgment here.
It's etheric.
Etheric. I wonder if it's like an implant plugger in her.
No.
No.
How long has she had?
Oh, I wonder if
5
it's like
years?
I wonder if she has if she's an
4
indigo where
years?
they have to walk in, like the Nephilim walk in.
Okay, she's had it for 3 years.
Something happened through her relationship is usually my relationship. Yeah, mine too, girl. I get it.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever she had is caused by trauma. So that's why she got that entity for 3 years now, because of some trauma incident. I can't go further than that.
Sorry, I've never really asked about this. I want to wait till you're ready to transition. I'm sorry to keep having you jump. If anybody has any questions that I missed, just rewrite them again and I will ask Mark. So I have a little brother, Mark, who's 2 years younger than me, who's more like my son than he is my little brother. Just mainly because my mom died when I was 9. My dad tried to kill my stepmom and went to prison for 7 years. He was in San Quentin till I was almost 18. And my brother and I got split up. He was with my Aunt more. I was in foster care getting moved around. But because of that split, right around the time he had been going into high school, he became agoraphobic and he shut down. He went from being a social kid to this day. He's 38, never had a girlfriend, never been intimate, he has a driver's license, but he's not normal, and he taught himself the stock market. But when GameStop happened, he lost his money and now he won't screw with it. When I was 22, I came home from boot camp. I didn't make it through boot camp. And 2 days after I got home from boot camp, Mark, my brother shot himself in the chest with a rifle and he survived it. And point blank, and it jammed and he had to, it went through his lung up into the ceiling. And then he walked to the top of the stairs to ask why he was still alive. I feel like I willed my brother to live. It fucked me up. I feel like he has a possession. He's so angry and hurt. Like he and my dad are just miserably mean people. I love them to death, but my whole life's being ripped apart right now because I feel like my dad's just being a dick for no reason.
Okay, hang on. Well, he's definitely possessed. But the question
my dad
is,
or my brother.
When did it start? Okay, how old was he when he
2008?
started? Was it 5 years old?
Chris would have been 7 when my mom died, so I would have been 9.
Did it come when he was 7? Yeah, it started as soon as the death.
Yeah, and then my stepmom was really evil, and she came in and she was fucked up, very abusive.
We talking heavy duty
drug addict. and I mean, just Stockholm syndrome and just gaslighting. And that's why I have abandonment issues and really bad triggers of like anytime Aaron tells me he's going to leave me, I go into a full panic attack and I just freak out like a child.
I know someone who can handle it.
Okay.
I'll let you know later.
Thank you. Maya, if there's anything we can do to help you, I mean, I'll try to help you. If Mark has any suggestions, I will do it. And Craven's pretty good too about that stuff, about clearing the energy in the crystals. Yeah, she said her relationship blew up 3 years ago. An incubus. So it's interesting you say that, Phil. Someone thought I had a succubus, and then it turned out that wasn't the case. It was something else. But the next day, Matthew Mornier said, I'm clean. My energy's clean. I have really strong armor. I've got these wings. But there was a portal and all kinds of shit in my house.
And funny.
No, they said I had tech around my neck and everything. I did, but I mean, you know what I mean? What's weird is this. The two things I was told were two things that I was researching heavy duty. So I was like, man, am I manifesting this tentacle and this eyeball? But my bedroom was creepy. And now it feels like it's gone.
Okay, yeah. You didn't manifest, no. Are they gone? No.
Is it me or is it my other half?
Hang on a second.
Okay. Aaron's like supposed to move out and like go back to, I don't know, Oklahoma. And my dad's trying to like evict us, even though he doesn't have grounds to do it. He pretty much wants me to live on the floor at his house with my 2 dogs. And I feel like as soon as Aaron's gone, that he's going to try to have me committed and take my dogs away. I just feel like it's malicious manipulation and ill intent masquerading under you can live with me and I'll take care of you and everything will be fine. I'll tell you what, you guys, like I was in my bedroom trying to get dressed the other day naked, and my dad tried to barge in after I told him twice, like, hey, I'm in here, wait. And he got mad at me because I shut the door on him. And then he went home and was pissed off at me for 2 days because I'm 40 years old and wouldn't let my father in my bedroom naked this week. Yeah, my dad was trying to push the door in on me. So I don't feel like I should live with him, Mark.
No, I don't think you either. But I told you previously that you can move out and get a really good job, no problem. So make your move.
I don't really know where to go. I feel stuck.
Okay, get out of Alabama.
I mean, I want to find a passion. I mean, I don't mean to be Debbie the Downer. I want to chase my dream and write books and teach things and connect with people. And I don't want to end up at a dead end job. I'm not above working it. I'm just saying, like, I worked those jobs for years, and I just want to do something that helps people, and I feel good about it.
Well, where would you like to live?
Well, I would really like to go to Andromeda, but there's no connecting flights right now. I don't know where I want to live. I kind of would like, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. I just don't want to be near my dad. As long as I'm near good people, I could be in the hole in the bottom of the ground and I'm happy. I miss the ocean.
Okay,
I want to
so
be
you want water.
Like, I keep being told Florida, that people see me in Florida, like giving presentations at conferences.
I kind of like Sarasota, but I was told, well, I'm a Canadian, so not a good thing for me to go there now. So that was one of my go-to places because that beach is crystal. It's not sand. It's actually crystal. And there's a big portal off the coast there.
Is it Fort Walton Beach?
There's an island there. I know because of the location, because of the island. That's there.
Where did BG Cass just come back from? Steven just came back from, I think I know where you're talking about, Mark. Does anyone know where Steven from BG Cass just came back from? It was like some tiny island in Florida where I know their seal has dolphins and stuff on it. I cannot think of what it's called. I'm a really good friend. He's told me the story 3 times. I still can't remember where the hell he went. Some tiny island in Florida. What did it say on it, Mark?
Oh, it says Siesta Key. My sister.
Maybe that's where he went.
But anyways, and that's where Ashayadeen. What's the name?
Ashiana Dean. There's extra syllable in there.
Yeah, Yeah, so she's there. I do wish she would come out a bit more and
I've heard
talk.
her information became infiltrated around, I think Phil said the 90s stuff was good and like up until I think 2012. And they said after that, something changed.
No, I'll have to douse about that sometime, but I'd like to meet her.
When we
She's what's called an ECCAR. There's three of them, and Lisa Renee Holt is the second one. Now, if you go to, so Ms. Dean would have all these, she would talk, but she would also have diagrams of the layers of the construction of reality in all the different dimensions and the associations. But with Lisa, she can give you the written definition of everything. So she has on her site is synthetic. Oh, what is it? Synthetic.
look it up.
Energetic synthesis. That's it. .com. But she also
energetic.
on that site, it's called the Ascension, or just not the AscensionGlossary.com.
Oh, that's what Anchor Haven loves, the Ascension Glossary. She swears by it. She should be the spokeswoman for them.
Well, that's Lisa Renee's work. She's the one transcribing all of that info. So and there's another female, but unknown to me at this time. So it'd be kind of neat if we get all three of them together.
That'd be amazing. I hear that she's been off the radar trying to keep a low profile. This is the years that he said this is the best work that you're supposed to. You remember I sent you one of her charts and it was a very minor little detail, but it was enough to change the context of the chart. You said to be careful. It wasn't, there was an integrity issue with it. Mm-hmm. It was one of those diagrams where it shows the different dimensions and densities of the harmonic universes. So it has like the partiki, and I can't say half the words that she's figured out, but anyone who's Ashiana Dean knows what I'm talking about. The Ekaveka.
Yeah.
That's
what Ek is a big word to her. I know. I'm fascinated with her. I did follow quite a bit of her tours in Egypt. And so there would be like 6 videos, each one about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I did a lot of following on what she was doing back then.
Does anyone know how she activated, like how she came about activating and getting that information to come through?
I don't remember now. No.
Cosmic Voice can probably tell us. He's pretty good. Is this how you spell the actor? Up on. There you go.
ECKHAR. Eckhart.
Backwards. See, I've been looking at words backwards because anything here, I'll write it out. So anything that's like this.
Or HAR. I'll have to look at it. It's a long time since I've been doing her work.
From what I understand, it means this.
But she was the one who was basically saying, stay away from the archangels. And then the whole New Age movement went, oh, no, she's evil. And yet here I am saying the same thing years later, decades later. Stay away from the angels. And my middle name is Michael.
I was named after my Uncle Michael. So I used to be an MMM too before I ever got married. So you're a Michael in the middle. Mark, is your last name an M? I can't remember.
No,
I don't know.
It's Newman. No, MMN.
MMN. Oh, like the salad dressing.
There's a salad dressing named MMN.
Paul Newman. Yeah. He's
Paul Newman.
Yeah.
No relation, unfortunately. He was a cool guy, though.
He makes good salad dressing. This is I've been trying to learn this etymology, and you have to look at how they put certain letters together. So from what I understand, the T is supposed to represent the source. The H is supposed to be like a bridge. And then you have what are in the middle, like encapsulated words, which from what I understand are connected to tones that go with the chakras. So they say like Jesus is the son of Mary. Well, it's really the Ma-Ri is the son, and Yeshua, who came from the son, they say is of the line of being in the son God family. So they have taken and inverted these words. They have a totally different context. I think it's
that's a
because they
bit of
want you
a,
to use your full chakras and beliefs to manifest what they want. And we've been, duped.
well, yeah, but unwinding all of that would be a mind F,
It'd be,
because there's a lot in the words we've been bamboozled by from saying hello.
how about this one right here? This one is actually not what you think it is. This one is the HE double hockey sticks.
Mm,
How about this one, right? We say this all the time.
yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low tones, low vibrations.
So it's way more complex than even that.
I'll tell you what
And
letter
because if you
bothers
get
me.
into, what do you call that? Gematria?
Gematria, where, okay, are you talking about
Yeah.
where you add the numbers up?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
So someone did something just yesterday that I found out. It was a gematria of something, but I can't remember what it was. But it's again 666.
I keep running into certain numbers. Like, so when I was looking into Boulder, I kept running into 666 or like, some kind of combination where you could add it up and you were going to get like a denomination of it, or you were going to get 666. I literally found a business called The Agency that has this very unique looking logo, which I think is representative of contracts with Moloch, Thoth, and Leviathan, because the way it bends, that's how that works for them. Okay.
Oh, hang on.
You guys see it spinning? This is crazy. I love this. I wanted to see this so bad when I was a kid, to see magic, and I never lost my belief in it. I'm not
The
sure
whole
who
thing
you
with
went by.
Moloch and that was true
It is true
from the agency and your tie into these beings. There's something there to that.
with me. Is that
No,
why I'm
no, no,
decoding
no,
so
no.
much?
Just that's a truth. That
Okay.
the agency has done this, and it is relating in somehow in fashion to Moloch and that.
I
So
totally get that. I know what it is, and I don't want to talk about it. I know what it is.
yeah.
I just clicked yes. I know exactly what it is now. Okay, so I have to forgive myself, is what I'm getting. I need to not have any guilt or shame, and I need to forgive myself and let that go.
You're talking to me.
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Are you talking to me?
I wish you guys were all here in person. I would be so
That's a
happy to.
no. That's a no. You don't have to release anything here.
I don't. Okay. That
No.
makes me feel a lot better.
No.
Am I going to be okay if Aaron and I separate him? Is my heart going to be okay, or is it going to mess me up?
So, Cosmic Voice, are you the one in New Zealand?
That's Phil. He's a
Well,
good friend.
okay. Well, better climate. Volcanoes, quakes, tsunamis.
I hear
Careful.
the Congo is the place to go. That's what Renetta
Where?
said. Congo. Renetta said to
Oh,
go to
why would you
Congo.
go to Congo? No. No.
She said that the reason they're moving all these migrants around is because they're evacuating them out of the areas that are safe, because she believed they were trying to spin the top, so to speak. I think I've wondered about this theory. I think there's been 3 major pole shifts, and I think the 4th one will unfreeze Antarctica. And I know they talk about the technology. I don't think it's the technology. I think it's like, think about it, like it'll be a cold day in hell, or cold as hell. And they talk about these caverns down there under the ice that are supposed to be really hot for these reptilians, right? What's the fascination with Antarctica? Well, then you have, was it Buzz Aldrin who had that heart attack down there? He said that they thought out something they shouldn't have. It was the most like evil incarnate or something. Well, I think that's that octopus thing I've been looking into. I think it's real.
Could be. I don't think there's that many Alpha Draconians left, actually.
I'm not sure that this is
I think we're
necessarily
dealing
a
with.
draconian. It's like a Cthulhu monster, Cthulhu. See, It's got like two entities in one. One's like an octopus and one's like something else, but it's got one eye and then two eyes. And it's got like this tentacle thing that comes around its head. And it says that when they open up the seventh seal or the book with the seventh seal, that's what's going to come out of it.
Oh, I don't think so.
I found it in video game covers. The Into the Unwell I sent you, this video game cover, I copied it, I flipped it, I put it together. There's a portal at the top with an entity, a portal at the bottom, and in the middle is this like skull. And I'll send it to you later. If I didn't send it to you, I will. But I've got all kinds of stuff like video game covers, and literally they have like Gaia is an illusion, angels will or gods will fall. It literally sounds like they're telling us what the hell is coming or what they're trying to do. And the biggest shocker for me was the Lord of the Rings, like Peter Thiel, 5 businesses named after Lord of the Rings. You were talking about the ring, right? Earlier at the beginning of your story about go back to the ring in the washing machine. There's a very big obsession in Silicon Valley with this Lord of the Rings. And the mission space patch I found that has like the motto from Lord of the Rings, except for instead of one ring to bind them all, it's one satellite to rule them all, one satellite to bind them all. And it looks like that yellow red eye. It matches the Incredibles logo, you guys, or the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. I think they're trying to tell us something.
Oh, might be. If I ever need a patch, I'm going to get you to design it for me. We'll kick ass with our patch.
Yeah, yeah, really. Mine's going to be cactus in sign language. This is my gang sign. It really does mean cactus in sign language. Yeah. I've got all kinds of passive aggressive inventions too. Like these are my 2 road rage inventions, Mark. I want to invent a catapult that comes out of your car that throws a like pterodactyl sized pile of shit on the car that cuts you off. Or you press a button and your voice comes screaming through their speakers at them and they can't get away from you.
Torture them, man.
Well, I'm that person where, like, if you know it says the lane's going to merge, I let everybody go. You know what I mean? Like, I have nowhere to be in a hurry. You know what I mean? I let people merge. Now, if you're that a-hole that goes zooming past everybody trying to merge because you're so entitled and you have more important places to be, you got to be at the front, I'm going to run you into a guardrail and bless your heart.
I always wanted a ray gun that just made people disappear. And they all have to go to the same location after they get shot. And everyone only gets a shot once a year. So you get to remove one every year. And then you see how many people are left in the world, but in 10 years.
Are you going to send them to the Department of Motor Vehicles or to the IRS?
No. There's probably someone at the motor vehicle.
Still in line at the DMV in California.
No government agencies. Oh man, no.
Alphabet soups. Oh yeah, all of them. Yeah. No, they're all connected. So she wants.
No.
Go ahead. No.
No, I got a question here. Did I happen to write a book at one time? No, but I was told I'm going to write a galactic book when I get off Earth.
I've been told I was going to write books too. Since I was in high school, I was told I would be an amazing writer. I wanted to write a children's book about the moth and the moon. Like moth finds out that the fake light everybody's going into is killing him, and they're supposed to make this like mecha trip to the moon, and he has this like whole adventure on the way there. And this is years and years before I ever even like I just found out that UFOs were real. And I was walking around for 2 weeks and driving around in a company car like seriously, like I was so asleep. You should have seen me. Unacknowledged was the documentary, and I remember arguing with my boss at the blood bank about cloud seeding and UFOs, and he just thought I was full of it. And I was like, dude, they cloud seed all the time. He's like, that's not even possible. You have a wild imagination. And I'm like, well, you're really boring, dudes. That guy was a jerk.
No,
sorry, not sorry.
I tried or attempted to write a movie. I started it, but the atmosphere I was in when I was taking care of my sister with her cancer in the household was just too crazy. But it would have starred. Did you ever see the movie Mars Attack?
I know of it. I don't think I've seen it. Can you give us a 10-second version of it?
Well, it isn't attacked by Mars, but there's like the cast is a whole bunch of people, like
Yeah.
all famous people, but they all get little more or less bit parts.
It's
Like the president of the United States was, oh, what's his name? Not Hackman. The guy who was in, oh, I don't know, because I don't go to movie theaters.
Me
I
either.
stopped doing that a long time ago.
Me too. I don't even
Anyway,
watch TV unless it's a podcast usually. Mars Attacks. I'll look it up.
but
Mars
this one,
Attacks.
it was a comedy. But this one would be with David Bowie, all the rock stars, all the people from the 70s. So
Jack
there's a girl
Nicholson.
abducted.
Glenn Close, Jack Nicholson, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, and Danny DeVito. I love Danny DeVito.
So
I always love Steve Martin
huge
too.
cast with all these characters. So like I've got my people, but half of them are from the glam rock era in rock and roll. So it's could be Jagger, it could be Bowie. It's funny you said Pierce Bronson. He might be the decrepit 007 agent that's now a detective, because there's two girls from a Catholic girls' school are abducted by aliens, and now I have two Anunnaki in a spaceship, and David Bowie's the bad guy, and the Canadian comedian.
I'm so bad at this. Anyone
Anyway.
know? I'm thinking
No,
Davidson,
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's the good guy, maybe, or Pierce Bronson. Like people like Lou Reed would be the cab driver in the movie, but whenever you drive by the prostitutes in New York, they'd all go do walking on the wall side do.
Sounds like Valentine's Day.
Could be, but anyway,
like where it's like everybody's interacting, but they're just like it's like 50 famous people, and they all have different storylines, and they all end up connecting in one way or another. But it's all these different, unique, like people going through one day together, and one ends up affecting the other without them even realizing it.
Well, I had Bob Dylan was God, so he played God, and then the two girls that went missing was from a Catholic girls' school, and did you see the Blues Brothers movie?
Yeah, I remember the Blues Brothers.
So do you remember the person there? I kept saying we're on a mission from God.
Yeah.
And there was the school, the nun who was really strict, was smacking them on the nickels. I wanted her in that as from the monastery where the girls went to private school. And what's the guy from 2.5 Men?
Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen is the priest there. But all these girls are in the Catholic girls' outfits because that turned them on in prostitution. So it would have been worked. It would have worked.
I'll give you a
joke. Do you know a guy by the name of Stephen Wright? He was a comedian. He was on Carson and all those. Okay, he talks really slow and mundane, like one of his better jokes.
Stephen Wright.
WRIGHT.
Okay, Stephen Wright.
No.
Let me look him up.
You can look at him on YouTube. It's comedy. He's on Carson. But anyways, he was
Billy Carson or Billy Carson, like Forbidden Knowledge. Billy Carson.
Johnny Carson.
John Carson. Okay, I keep thinking of this. Okay, yeah. Did you actually recognize him?
Okay. So he had a really slow and mundane way of talking. So one of my jokes was, okay, he's doing it for the Montreal Comedy Festival, which is big. And he's doing a Canadian joke, and he says in his own way, I know all of you Canadians go through cold winters, and I know sometimes you wear toques, but tell me, if you made it out of hemp, would you call them toques?
It makes me think of Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, and they're driving around in that van that's like catches on fire, and the whole thing's made out of reefer.
Yeah, I like that. The first two movies are really good.
Man, did you hear about sorry, this is so scroll. I guess he got it. He was raided. I can't remember. I think it was Cheech Marin. he was raided by the drug force and task team, and they came to his house and arrested him like when he was like 50 years old. Yeah, I remember hearing this. Like, I think it was on Joe Rogan. I don't know if anybody else remembers that story. This is years ago, but he got arrested, and they showed up like SWAT and everything, and he tells the whole story, and he had to surrender, and they took him in, and I couldn't believe it.
Why,
I think, and all he had was pot.
It's legal here. We've been legal for 4 years.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. It's just a plant, and should you happen to set it on fire, there could be some side effects. No, actually, I really don't even smoke that much anymore, Mark. Like, I used to, if you ever told me that I was going to quit smoking pot, I would have been like, you know what? I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Like, I would have never thought I was going to quit smoking pot. Now about a few weeks back, they randomly overnight got rid of all the Delta 8 and 9. So we don't even have the synthetic kind here. Which is supposed to be like a low THC, but it has like special types of cannabinoids in them. And the way that they hit like the mu receptors, it's supposed to feel like, real THC, but it's not. It's not that good. I've stopped using it. I used to eat edibles every day, and I just was knocking myself out and sleeping so much that I finally got off of it, and I don't want to go back on it. I like having energy. Can sleep when I'm dead.
Well, should we wind this up? We've been going for quite some time.
Yeah, I think you did great. I'm just so appreciative. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to keep doing shows. I don't know what's going to happen, you guys. I've got like 2 more interviews that I've committed to, but I'm not, with things being up in the air with my life right now. And I don't know how it's going to go. I gotta be stable, and I'm not trying to like make commitments to people, and then I can't even follow through and be there and have a good podcast with them. So this might be the last one I'm doing where I'm putting it out for a while until I can get, that figured out.
Yeah, well, I think you got a situation you need to get away from.
Yeah, it just sucks. It fucking hurts.
Between Aaron and Dad, mackerel.
He's got a good heart. Like, he is my best friend. The problem is I don't feel like I'm ever going to find somebody that I'm not compatible with again. He's the one that helped me to let go of my insecurities. He helped me to learn how to not give an F what people think. He let me get comfortable in my own skin. And he's the first person I've been that made me feel like I've always had weight fluctuations, like pretty much since I was like, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade. I have a thyroid issue because of genetics. But I always felt like, especially in San Diego, that I had dysfunctional relationships because I wasn't super skinny like the majority of my classmates were. But when I finally met Aaron, I realized, I'm a pretty person, and I have a good heart, and I'm smart, and I am a good friend, and someone would be lucky to have me.
Yeah. That's why you should be waiting for the next one who's better.
Yeah. My dad used to say, how you mend a broken heart, you fall in love again. And I'm like, that's the worst advice to give your teenage daughter. If you're brokenhearted, that's okay. Just go out, don't heal, just jump in with somebody else. That'll fix the trauma.
Probably not known for his wise counsel.
No.
Right.
They say you can't fix stupid. Stupid is forever. All right, you guys. Any other questions? Anyone want to ask Mark anything real quick before we say goodnight to him? I appreciate you all being here. I love you all. You guys are my happy place. I'm so grateful for each of you. I'm grateful for Mark's time. I was very excited about this. Nothing does last forever. Quite likely the lesson, the connection is ready for its new chapter. Yeah. You know me, like I still have clothes from high school, and I wear those things till the threads fall out and they don't even look like clothes anymore. And I'm like, no, I think I get one more wear out of them. Like, I think that sometimes I run things into the ground too much because I just don't want to.
You need to splurge.
Like a gift card to Baskin Robbins or like a buffet or.
No. Just treat yourself.
Yeah, I used to bring home animals all the time, and then I got up to 16 animals. No, I know
you end up with a zoo. No, you know that.
I
go,
did have a
go out
Zoom.
and buy a dress and buy this and buy that and put some money together and do
I don't
things you
go
want to
anywhere.
do.
You know what? I love picking clothes out for people. Like I'm really good at picking things out, or I'm really good at shopping. I hate my favorite thing to shop for are socks and shoes because they always fit no matter what.
I got
You can
terrible.
always have your socks fit regardless if it's sweater weather season or it's bikini season. The socks always fit good.
I've got
I love
some.
you guys.
Don't. Anyways, alrighty. I'm saying
Love
goodbye.
you guys. Love you all.
Namaste
Bye,
and
you
all that
guys.
nonsense.
Have a good night. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all. See you next time.
Until tomorrow.